We'll be in conversation with Tebogo Khaas, who is the chairperson of Public Interest South Africa, who is joining us to also look at this particular story that, of course, has everyone seized when it comes to, just how is this conversation, is this commission going to work, especially when you think about the amount of time that it might need here, given the grave, allegations that have been made by the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner. At the same time, you think about the fact that in history, for example, when you look back, you see that commissions would be set up for 3 to 6 months, then end up taking years. And when they take years, given the scope of work that they have, they then begin to realize, some twists and turns when it comes to the work that they are doing. So can this particular commission find itself with these particular twists and turns, given just how the state of policing has been over time? So Tebogo is now able to hear us and joins us this evening. Good evening to you, Tebogo, and thank you so much for your time. When reading your statement, you've welcomed the decision by the President to establish this Judicial Commission of Inquiry, but how much of information are you hoping to get from it?
Well, I think I want to pick up from where Mbegezeli Benjamin had left and to say, I think the commission shouldn't really be something that's going to be doing a deep dive as if it's more like a trial, a criminal trial. It should be able to, at the face of information that will be presented to it under oath, to be able to determine whether such information is credible enough to be forwarded to the responsible authorities, be it the JSC or even the prosecuting authorities themselves, or both. In fact, even if it's judges implicated, it shouldn't be just left for the JSC to adjudicate on those matters, but it should also be that if there are criminal acts that are committed even by a judge or a magistrate or an officer of the court, they should be referred to the NPA and adjudicated accordingly, just as we've seen with many other instances like Malesela Defo and so forth. So that is one part. Then the other thing also, if the time frame is set and not moved just as the Zondo Commission was, it will actually mitigate even the cost aspect of it, and it should be able to find the veracity or otherwise of the allegations made by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. What
are the possibilities, though, that it may not be extended? Because I know you say that if not, but we've seen what happens over time. For example, one thinks about the fact that the Madanga Commission, for example, set from the 1st of October 2012, but wrapped up on the 14th of November 2014, and then only handed over the report to the President in 2015. Then you do have the Zondo Commission. We know how much time that took. We know how much time the Seriti Commission took. So what is the likelihood of us not seeing an extension here, given the problems that the police have had in the last decades?
South Africans are tired. I don't think we've got the energy to be waiting inordinate time, just as we've done with the Seriti Commission, which was bungled and restarted, and all those other things, including the Zondo Commission. Because in this instance, it's focused on a narrow aspect, which is the criminal justice system. And even then, it is not the entirety of the criminal justice system. It is certain elements within it. If you are focused on the criminal, from the crime intelligence, for example, it is easy for you to narrow. Indeed, are these facts factually, are they backed up or not? So it should be easy to do that. The same also with the judiciary. It is not the entirety of the judiciary that is said to be misbehaving, but it is certain instances which should be easier to narrow that. Therefore, we should actually put the commission on terms in terms of being able to conclude its work expeditiously and cost effectively.
So when we look at these allegations, right, these are grave allegations. Of course, everybody does agree, but there are some people who are saying that, for example, do treat them with caution, because we do not know for now, as their extent, but at the same time, what other people may be presented, and also the amount of evidence that may be laid bare. So what is your position, particularly on that issue?
Yeah, look, Justice Madanga is one of the senior judges you can find at the Apex Court, and he suffers no fools. He should be able to see if there is politics involved and all that, and make such rulings such that it will be difficult for anybody to go there and just on a fishing expedition or a smear campaign, however it is motivated. And we believe that in him, we couldn't have thought of a better person. There may very well be others, but he's more qualified and astute to be able to diligently undertake the mandate that is placed before him without affording space for other people to do shenanigans. In fact, the Zondo Commission was prolonged mainly also because of the conduct of some of the lawyers who were actually representing some of the witnesses before it. And if you don't give them a long rope, you make sure that you keep them in check. They should be able people to keep to the mandate, and the objectives of the commission should be realized sooner than it would otherwise be if things are left to the whims of the lawyers, who mainly, some of them actually go there just to go and run a credit card machine, a till, just to amass as much wealth or cost as possible without really regard of the processes themselves.
And speaking about people who are fit for purpose, the acting police commissioner, Professor Feroz Kachalia, your thoughts? Is he the right man for the job?
I have the honor of having engaged and worked with Professor Kachalia on various instances, especially with regards to the National Anti-Corruption Advisory Council. Although our interactions have been at arm's length, he comes across as somebody who's very much with a wealth of integrity, is not only well read, but is also, aware of the issues involved in the criminal, in the safety and criminal justice space, especially having served as an MEC for safety in Gauteng in one of his stints in the public life. So we do believe that somebody like him, and remember, this is just an interim situation. And I think the president took a good decision by not firing the minister, but rather asking him to take leave. Because until such time that these allegations have been tested, we are otherwise could be impugning somebody when the allegations may not necessarily be found credible. Although I'm not suggesting that the allegations are not, because these are serious allegations and put by a very respectable officer of the court in General Mkhwanazi. And we believe that there is prima facie, as a layperson, that we see that things that he's pointing at need to be investigated, and there is reason for alarm to actually be raised. So, yeah.
Just before I let you go briefly, there's a lot that's being said about the addresses that the president is giving to the nation, particularly when there's some, serious concerns or even allegations that are being made, or a serious situation in the country. Others say that, for example, a president coming out to then address the nation, tell the nation what is going to be done, but without the media present in the room to then be able to ask some questions. Some are frowning upon this, but others are saying that, in fact, it is the right call by the president. What is your take as Public Interest South Africa on this? I
think the president handled this perfectly. We are grateful for the caliber of the men wearing that suit in Mahlamba Ndlovu. Insofar as these issues, how he handles these issues as called, because you need cool heads, you need steady hands, you need somebody who will be able to not at the whim of at anybody's whim to actually make such decisions as is expected of him, and make sure that whatever decision he takes is well considered. And given the gravity of the situation, he couldn't be making any missteps and then later on only to try and unravel, because once the egg has been scrambled, you cannot unscramble it. So we are very much encouraged, and we believe that this action that is taken is the best action that anybody in his shoes could have done.